Okay, jumping right back into Outskirts. I'm gonna go really slow and get this rhythm issues that I have going fixed. That was a weird sentence. All right, so we got this one and two and. All right, before I get started too, if you guys want this sheet music or want to support us making more content, videos, lesson videos, whatever you guys desire, become a member at musicbythemeasurespro.com. It helps us out. All right, so we got this one and two and four and. That part really doesn't get me. It's this next measure. But let's warm up on this first measure. One and two and three and four and. Now, I'm going to spend a lot of time on this next one because just that ghost note slide is enough to throw me off. So we're going one and two, one and two, one and two, and one. So if I can get that mechanism down, I think I'll be fine. A little riff down. So let's see if 70 is slow enough for me to just really count and think about it. One and two and one and two and one and two and one. All right, now with metronome, let's see if I can count that. And one and two and one and two and one and two. So obviously practicing it 2 days ago and running through it now helps a lot, right? I have it in my fingers already. One and two and three and four and one. Right. And starting slower than I need to go allows me more time to think as well. 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Somebody is spamming the hearts, and thank you for that. I think I know who you are. 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Now, it's worth me doing this over and over again because I'm bad at it. That's one of the reasons why it's worth me doing. And then as I get up to faster tempos, it's going to be really easy for me to go full speed. 1 and 2. And that held beat, right, over 3 and 3 and 4 and is enough to throw you off, too. All right, let's do that whole measure. 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3. It wasn't you? You were one of the two that I thought it might have been. 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. change over here so I can be distracted in the right way. All right, so these two measures together, nice and slow. We're going 1 and 2 and 4 and. Yeah, so just right there, it's enough to throw me off. 1 and 2 and 4 and. So gotta watch that rhythm. So let's see if I can do it with the metronome. 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. All right. Not playing it the best right now, and that's okay. Warming up. Yeah, let's do a couple more at 70. I was going to combine the next two measures, but I don't think I'm ready for that since I'm playing it a little sloppily. I think who's ever spamming the likes is distracting me, but that's okay. We'll live with that. I mean, I should never be complaining about somebody spamming likes and commenting because it helps our videos and the algorithms, and we get more views, and eventually down the road we can be monetized, and someday, you know, I can do this more full time. That's the goal. Maybe that's the goal. Maybe it's not. We'll find out. 1 and 2 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, getting that groove down. 2, 3 and 4 and 1. 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. 3 and 4 and 1. So let's add in the second measure, and we'll keep this kind of like slow groove going to start. Try to get all the way to 7 all the time. Again, now that I'm doing 4 measures, it might throw me off a little bit. And then how we connect after those 4 measures gets me a little bit too. So we're doing that 7. Though I like that better than going... getting ready for that 4-4. So, all right, we'll see how I do. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Let's go by 6s because there's no way I'm gonna do too fast on this today, and that's okay. It's feeling good. I feel like I'm getting that timing down. Sometimes if I'm not counting it inside my head or outside of my head, it gets a little loose. So things to watch out for. 4, 1, 4. Got myself off guard with the fingers a little bit, but that's okay. All right, let's do the 8. Let's go to 82. One, two, three, four, one and two and three and four and one and two and three. Gotta get my slide in. 2, 3, and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 3 and 4 and keep on going up by 6s. It's kind of a chill practice because I already did all the work in my mind 2 days ago. So now it's just like pushing these tempos as far as I can go and then moving on. Some sloppiness every once in a while on those slides, right? Not getting all the way to 7. Right now, I don't really care that much. I mean, I can get it up to, when I have this memorized, which I should probably have it memorized by now because I've done this for 2 days and we're repeating a lot. You can already see like I'm not looking at the slide half the time, so like I'm getting comfortable with that distance. Every once in a while, I don't get there all the way. I'm gonna call that okay for now. All right, 94. And full speed is 130. Yeah. We'll see what my top number is for today. Don't want to jinx myself, but I think, it's going to be like 110, 115. Sometimes I'm just not setting myself up to get back there, but that's okay. All right, let's do 100. I'm not enunciating today. Let's do 100. A little bit of a lazy Monday for me. I got up nice and early and thought I'd just hit the floor running, and Had a nice vocal practice, a little bit of chill time, and then it's like it's 2 o'clock right now, but getting started around 1:30. It's a little bit later than I wanted, but it is what it is. 1 and 2, 4. Feeling decent about that. Again, there's some slop. Catch myself playing that coming back to that 4 with that first finger, it throws me. And as we get to these faster tempos, it throws me worse. It's doable. It's maybe doable. It's not that doable for me. So just coming from that 7. See, again, if I don't have the muscle memory, which I don't completely for this song yet, as I stretch my hand because it's hurting a little bit, well, that's part of the problem. Like, I start to flex too much, and I start to push, and things fall apart. So it's good for me to push these tempos, but then tomorrow, again, I have to come back down to probably 90 to start with. So before I'm done, I'll save a 90 segment in here so I remind myself. This is, in my mind, the sprints of the workout. Am I not 100% comfortable yet? No, I'm not. But tomorrow when I start at 90 and build back up, I will get more comfortable and smooth it out. So some of those rough edges, I'm going to be like, okay, that's fine. Those 7s don't always sound great. Sometimes I rush the rhythm. That'll be fixed tomorrow. So 112. And then we're not too far away from 130, so that's nice. One, two, three, 4. that was fun, so I got to speed up one more. This kind of goes back to me talking. Shit, was I at 112? I think I was at 112. Yep, so 118. This is becoming a little bit of a game for me. I'm gamifying my practice, so it's way more engaging than if I was just going 1 and 2 and, which you got to start there. I totally get that. But you should be spending time, but it's all of a sudden more fun, right? Day 2, you're now working with faster speeds. You're hearing the riff in the song. It just becomes more engaging. So, like, anything you can do to make your practice time more engaging for yourself, including me, like I'm coaching myself right now on this idea. If practice can be fun, you're going to do it for hours. If you do it for hours, you're going to get really freaking good. One, two, three, four. Rushing a little bit because I'm just not thinking about the count at all now. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. All right, now I'm just getting sloppy. All right. So instead of just doing that slop, let me slow down a couple. Let's go to 115. I'd like to get a couple nice ones at that tempo instead of some sloppy ones and leave it there. So actually, let's just go all the way back down to 112. You might be saying, is there really that big of a difference between 112 and 115? I don't know. Probably a little bit. A little bit more relaxed. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to put 90 there just so I start with 90. You know, I have a bad memory sometimes. Good memory, if you're a student of mine, I know what you worked on last, if I see your face. But I think we started today at like 50 or 60, maybe 70. So thinking about coming in tomorrow at 90 is going to be kind of chill. All right, let's look at Atomic City. We're playing this with a pick. We're going to jump right into the pre-chorus. Full speed on this one I think is 140. Let's do 90. Again, my goal on both these songs is get them up to full speed, get them done, do some loop videos, and move the F on. One thing I'm trying to fix my own practice is not staying in one place too long. Maybe I'm doing that in life too. You know, like here's this idea. You don't need to run it into the ground, which is oftentimes what I like to do. So, I'm doing my best on these, getting them as good as I can get them up to speed, spend enough time on them, move on. All right. So pre-chorus, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2, 3, 4. Sure, 90 is a little slower than that. Let's just get that rhythm down. 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3, 4. So let's just talk about some of the things that bug me about my playing right now. This would be like a good example of me being overly picky. So from that 1 to the 3, there's no slide written. Oftentimes you'll hear a little bit of a, right? Now, if I lift up, I oftentimes will lift up too early. So just little nitpicky things, right? 1 and 2 and 3. Like that's perfect in my mind. I lifted my finger, I moved to the appropriate fret, and I didn't take too long. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Same thing here. Just depends how nitpicky you want to be. Don't slide every note, I guess is probably what I'm coaching myself on. Right? It's dun 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 dun. Alright, let's do a couple more. Trying to pay attention to those things, but not letting them bug me. Which, you know, as much as I'm harping on myself, next measure he does that, so. 1 and 2, 3, 4. Making some little clerical errors here. Slowing it back down. Shit. 1, 2, and 3. Because if I'm struggling at 90, there's no reason to play this through over and over again a little bit faster than I'm going to do it with metronome in a second here. 2, 3, 4. So I just want to do this whole pre-chorus today, so let's see what's next. So essentially the same idea, except this F goes. So actually I lied. We're not going to spend any more time. Now let's get that up to 100 a minute, and then we'll go look at this bridge, which is kind of where I left off months ago. I did a couple days on the bridge, and I was like, shit, this is hard. And then I think I fell into a different song or Christmas song. So we'll see what the bridge has to offer and go from there. So I think that's fast enough to get us kind of like back into the world of this song. And then let's go see the bridge, because I faintly remember a lot of movement and high up. Yeah. A lot of movement and high up. Let's just, we're going to slow this way down. Let's try 60 and see where that's at. Like I said, I don't remember this much at all. Clearly, we got up to 70 and 90. It's not too bad, though. There's not a lot going on. I mean, it's by a lot going on. I mean, there's like 8 measures by the looks of it, and that's it. So we got this all the way to 14. Find 12. Go 2 higher. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Yeah, all right. I'm remembering this. This is kind of fun. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Now, again, this is the nice thing about relearning it, right? You're like, what fingers did I use last time? Well, maybe I didn't use the right fingers. Maybe it wasn't that economical for me to do it that way. 3 and 4 and... 1 and 2, 3, 4. There we go. So clearly I'm going 1 and 2 and 3 and... I like all of that. And 4 and... It'd be kind of nice to end up with my... Well... We'll figure that out. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. That by far feels most comfortable for me, so I'm ending up with that first finger there, clearly on one of the screens. You can't see it, and that's okay. And then second fret on 14. So I'm going 16. So before I go any farther, I need to like get that in my fingers. Now, the other thing that I've learned over doing enough of these videos and teaching lessons is don't commit to this. This might be the right idea right now. You might put this into context and your fingers all of a sudden do that, and you're like, oh, that's what they would have done naturally, but I'm spending so much time breaking it down. This is, I would say, this is me learning it in a vacuum. This is like the rough idea. So I like this little exercise. So 14, 16, 14, 14. Because we're going to be starting over again with this first finger there, right? 14, 16, 14, 14. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and that and 1 and 2, 3, 4. And 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1. And 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, 3, 4. Be a little sloppy for now. So let's just hear what 60 is and go from there. 1 and 2. I like this tempo. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3, 4. Clearly got to watch that that when I'm doing it with the metronome. slow, but that's okay. 2, 3, 4. I mean, that's just where I'm at playing this right now. One and two and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Yeah, not ready for that fast yet. I want to do a couple more of these because it's getting into my fingers, and then tomorrow will be easier. Tomorrow, the next day will be easier to speed up. 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3, 4 and 1 and 2, 3. Is I'm just gonna get really, really good at third finger, first finger, third, first, third, third. Gonna try not to do a slide there, but you kind of hear that I am. There we go. 3 and 4 and let's just, or 1 and 2, and let's see how fast it is. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Yeah, I'm not ready for that. Clearly. All right. So I know that tomorrow I need to jump into both those measures at 6D. I'll work more on Outskirts of Infinity. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you guys need this sheet music, get it at our website, musicbythemeasurespro.com. It helps support us to make more of these.